What's going on, everybody? I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back for another live stream here. The markets have been dump-a-lumping, right? The dump-a-lump has begun. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. We're dropping, and we're dropping like it's hot, right? The market is down on the day overall 10% plus, 10% plus easy on major altcoins in the top 100, right? 10% plus on the week. We are down 20% plus on the week. On the month, we're down 26 to 30% plus easy. On the year, everybody hold on tight for this one. We are down 58% plus, all the way up as high as 85 to 90% on altcoins already. So is the bear market here? That's what everyone wants to know. Is the bear market here? The real answer is it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, can you take the best trade? Can you take the best trade? So we're going to be covering Bitcoin. We're going to be covering some targets for Bitcoin, some targets for XRP, some targets for other altcoins as well. And just overall talking about the markets here, giving you guys a little bit of a recap. I already gave my Crypto Citadel an exclusive update this morning on what's happening. I will be posting more charts in my Crypto Citadel, my private trading community as well, in there later today. But right now, right, let's jump over to the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin has been wicking up, down, sideways, and all around all morning long, right? We came down from as low as 74,389 bucks late last night or early this morning, right? Throughout the night while we were sleeping Eastern time when the London session was happening, we dropped all the way down to 74. We rallied all the way back up to 77, came down to 75, and then we pushed all the way up to 81.1, almost closing the CME gap, right? Because now we have a CME gap to the upside since we had such a major correction over the weekend on Sunday, right? On Sunday, we were just dumping hard, right? And the market is obviously not closed. And guess what? This is exactly what happened. We had this massive CME gap. Where is the daily? Here it is. We have the CME gap all the way up to freaking 82,000, right? We came up as high as 81.4, did not close that and fell back down below. So that is going to be the next thing to do here is, when do we close this CME gap, right? When do we close the CME gap here? That's going to be the big question. So can we still rally it up to 82? Yes, we can. But overall, I'm still looking for lower price action. Why? Because Bitcoin has officially closed a weekly candle down below 80,000, closing at 78,000 yesterday. This is a weekly candle right here. We closed this bad boy at 78,300, losing that macro level support. So if we get rid of this day trading stuff, let's just turn some of these lines off here. Get rid of some of these. Yeah, turn this off. Turn this off. Yep. Oh, that can stay on. That can stay on. That can stay on. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Here we go. So looking at this macro level stuff, what's happened here is this. Really simple. Is basically, as you guys can see here, let me zoom in, make it nice and pretty for you guys. This range right here that you're seeing, this long, big range, that is the range for March, all of month, the entire monthly range. This is the previous week range. We have completely fallen below that, right? We have completely just massive liquidation collapse, poof, right below that. Now, we do have these red line targets here, right? These red line targets between 76 to 76, they've both been tapped. They're out. They're done. I can delete them right now. I'm not, just for reference, just so you guys can keep a look at it. And we came all the way down to the daily NPOC of $74,395 for Bitcoin, and we bounced off of that. The only other target below that is a daily average of 73,767, which is also the value area high. See this white line up here? The value area high of the year of 2024. 2024's yearly range is this entire range right here. You guys see this massive range down here? This is it. If we drop to 73,900 some change, and we drop below this value area high, if we drop below 73,743 right now, right? Not right now, but just in general, in the next couple of days, the next week or so, the next month, we drop into that range, the main target of that range becomes the NPOC. The NPOC is sitting at $67,338. Now, are we going to 67? There's absolutely no guarantee that we're going to go dropping down to $67,000 for Bitcoin. There's no guarantee, but that is a scenario on the table that has become more probable after we've lost 80,000. After we lost 80,000, 67's probability of becoming a reality has massively increased. So that's something you guys need to keep in mind, right? It's massively increased. It's not 100%, but at this point in time, it's somewhere around, I would probably say a 60% chance that we drop down there. There is obviously, like I said, there are still targets to the upside, right? We still have a weekly untapped average up at 81,000. We have a weekly NPOC up at 82.6. We have a quarterly average of 89 and another weekly NPOC at 90, which is right at the value area low of Q1, right? Of Q1. That is the value area low of Q1. Value area low of Q1 is sitting right at 90,000. We flip that. Obviously, we have some other targets up between 92 to about 98,000. But I'm not looking at 98,000 right now with the fact that we have just dropped below 80. We had a chance for 98,000 when we were up here around 85. We ran for 88. We had a chance for 98. Now, 98 is not really something I'm looking at. For me to start looking at 98 again, we need to get back above 82,006, hold that, and make a move for 88, right? We make a move for 88. We start rotating the range of March back to the upside. Then I can say, okay, maybe 98 is back on the table, right? Having a test of this $89,000 to $90,000 area. We're nowhere near that, so I'm not looking for that right now. Right now, as you can see, we have a massive doji candle here, a Darth Maul candle with two massive wicks to each side. Today has been a terrible day for trading, but I took a trade anyway. I didn't post it in the Crypto Citadel because it was extremely high risk, and I'm not about posting high risk trades. I try to post every trade has risk nonetheless, but the lower the risk, the lower the calculated risk that when you take on a trade, the better chance of taking it, right? And if you lose, you lose, but at least you took it with the least amount of risk possible. So I took a high risk trade today, and I didn't post it in the Citadel. It worked out. I'm also part of a trading competition, right? So I'm on a trading competition called Trading Wars. So I have to take trades almost every day to continue making sure that I stay in number one. Right now, I'm on number one place. I'm sitting well above the competition, but I can't let them catch up, right? So if I can't let them catch up, I got to keep trading. So I took a high risk trade. It worked out in my favor. Don't recommend it, but it worked out. Made a quick $400. It was fantastic. It's great, right? You guys can see it right here, right over here this morning. Right here. You guys can see this right here. I took this trade. It was a Bitcoin long, 20x, margin about $1,200, made $411, 33% return on this trade, right? Now, why did I take that trade? Like I told you, I'm part of a trading competition. I had to take it. I saw some things happening, and I took it. It worked out. But nonetheless, even if we have a bounce back up to 82, we can still come up, hit that weekly NPOC of 82.6, and push back down further. I am looking for further. Right now, I am biasing shorts. I took a long this morning. I understand that. When you're day trading, you take the best trade possible. So let me break down why I took that long, right? Reason why I took that long was we were down in the 5 minute. We had, I turned off my daily stuff. We were up here at the daily open. We had a massive move after hitting the London session NPOC. We had a massive move to the upside, showing a lot of strength. We started to reclaim the daily open, and I longed the daily open to the daily average. It was a short-term trade, literally from around here to here. It was a 1.78% move to the upside. It was fantastic. Like I said, low margin, a little bit of high leverage, made 400 quick bucks. It kept running. Look, it kept running all the way to the weekly average, almost tapping the weekly average of 81. I took profits at 79. This is how you stay profitable. You can't get greedy. After that, we had a massive wick to the downside, and boom, we're not getting back up there the rest of the day. So if I would have held on to that trade, looking for this next target, I would have probably gotten stuck because we would front run the target and fell back down. So gotta stay profitable, gotta stay non-emotional, and can't get greedy. Cannot get greedy on these trades. So that being said, let's go take a look at some targets for some other altcoins. What's up, Clay the Great? See you here in the chat, man. Good to see you, brother. Hoodie hoo hoo. Good to see you, Alexandra G. Stopping in to show some love and smash the like. Mining that fiat. Have a great stream. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. I know there's a lot of things happening in the market right now. We're definitely going to be covering ETH. We're definitely going to be covering Hbar. You can't see, Simon, I know you can't see my screen because you're on TikTok, but if you jump on over to Instagram, YouTube, or X, Blockchain Crusader, except for X, I'm at X, I'm B-Chain Crusader. You can find me there. You will see my screen there. So just go over to my YouTube, Blockchain Crusader. That'd be the easiest. Go on over to YouTube, Blockchain Crusader, and you'll see the full screen, see the whole thing there. So now let's go take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, slack-a-lacking. I mean, look at this bad boy. Woo! Dropping it like it's hot. Rudy G hitting that sub. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you hitting that sub, Rudy G. Ethereum has just smacked all these targets. I told you that we were sitting right here at the value area low of March, right? We're trying to hold this. Obviously, we had a liquidation event yesterday. It's not Ethereum's fault. But nonetheless, we had 3 targets to the downside that had been untapped. 1732, 1622, 1561. And guess what? We cut through those like butter. Like butter. So now, where are we headed? Honestly, I don't even think I have any targets below this. So we're going to have to start looking in the past for some more lower targets here. So let's start jumping back over here. Let's look over here for some historical targets here and see what we got. See what we got here. Let's see if we have anything for Q2. I should say no. Let me see. This is 2022. Jeez Louise. We're looking at 2022 targets for Ethereum. See if we can find any targets for Ethereum in 2022, 3 years ago. Woo, we are hitting some low lows over here. All right, let me find October 1st here. Let me run it to December. Boom. We have no NPOC here. We got nothing going on over here. Let's see. We got anything interesting happening? I mean, geez, Louise, what could we potentially have all the way down here? Let's look at some monthly NPOCs, monthly averages, I should say. We got no monthly averages down here. We got to look for some, let's see. We got nothing on the monthly. I highly doubt we have anything on the quarter. We definitely don't have anything on the quarter. Let's look for weeklies. Anything on the weeklies here? It doesn't even head back that far. Hold on. I got to... Let's see if we got anything on the weeklies back here, man. Oh yeah, we got one right here. We got one. We got one. We got one at 12.59. We got a weekly untapped average at 12.59. Jeez, we got to dig deep. We got to dig deep here for Ethereum, bro. We got to dig deep. I bought 2K more of XRP. David, you're a savage, bro. You're a savage. You are a savage. I'm not going to waste too much time here online looking at these targets. We found a target down here around 12.59 for Ethereum. That's quite a long way from where we're at right now. But, you know, something to look at. Something to look at. I have to look at more targets and update my chart here. So right now, Ethereum currently sitting below the 1561, right? On the daily, not looking so good. On the 4 hour, looking okay. We came back up to the weekly average of 1622, had a rejection. We're rejecting off the monthly MPOC of 1561 as well. If we don't start closing some 4 hour candles above these levels, this could be, you know, a rejection here. Like I said, this is all going to be dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin pulls up, Ethereum is going to slowly pull back up. But right now, sitting below this 1561. The longer we sit below it, the more likely 1259 becomes a reality. That's just the point of the game right now. Honestly, I'm not even looking at alts. Alts are completely trashed, completely dead. So right now, all you can potentially do, right, for the people is dollar cost average. That you see a massive drop, you dollar cost average into altcoins. Now, can altcoins get completely wrecked even further? Absolutely. If Bitcoin drops down to 67, alts are gonna get destroyed. So be very careful where your dollar cost averaging. Be very strategic. Be very conservative with your capital. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm not here to do that. You guys do whatever you want. Targets to the upside. If we can get back above the March value area low, which is 1769, we do have targets up at 2042 and 2067. Obviously, we have some targets up at 2176, 2187. But man, what a drop. What a drop. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some get a little gold pocket or something. Get a little gold pocket or something here from this price action. Let me keep reading through the chat here. The chat is flying. B-Bob, I'm not saying we're fudged. But I'm just saying expect some pain, right? We've entered the pain zone. Buying since May 2017, ETH at 1500 USD is bottom. Dude, I hope you're right. I 100% hope you're right. I hold quite a decent amount of Ethereum, and I want Ethereum to go as high as possible. Trust me. I'm tired of buying Ethereum at these lows, bro. I'm tired. I've been buying Ethereum since freaking $100. I'm tired of buying Ethereum at these lows. I want some 10K ETH, bro. I want some 10K ETH. Let's go take a look at Solana here. I don't want to waste any more time with ETH. ETH is just detrimental. I don't even want to look at that thing. So Solana over here on the 4 hour, on the daily, actually. Let's just jump out to the daily because everything is getting wrecked. Right now, we do have a target to the upside of 115, right? 115, we have a target. It's a weekly average to the upside for Solana. But realistically, we are dropping like a towel. We've dropped below the Q1 value area low of 116 and 117. We've lost the 100. We came down and tapped 97 cents, $97.42. We came and tapped that. If we head lower, if we drop below 97, our next target is 73.36 to the downside. Now to the upside, like I said, we do have a target up at 114, and we have another target up at 137 to 138 to the upside. That would be once we reclaim 117 area, 118, we reclaim the quarter one value area low. Our two targets to the upside, our local target to the upside would be 137 to 138 for Solana. If we continue heading lower, target is 73.36 for Solana. Let's go take a look at let's see here. Let's go take a look at Tau. Everything is just at such absolute lows, bro. It's so hard to even look at things because things are just smashed, like just completely smashed, right? Like BitTensor Tau right now is completely at lows, all-time lows pretty much. The last big drop was back in August 5th. We dropped down to 167. We're currently sitting at 191. Do we have targets to the upside? Absolutely. We have targets up at 243, 255, 265. Are we going to see those anytime soon? I don't know. We get a little local gold pocket here from this high to this low. Gold pocket puts us right at the value area low of this previous week here, or I should say of the month of March. And the gold pocket is sitting currently at 242 to the upside. We'll see if we can hit those highs and potentially either break back in or we're going to get rejected again. Best times to buy. So yes, look, let's put a pause on the TA and let's just talk some macro stuff on the crypto space. The best times to buy have always been when the market has dropped, right? When the market has dropped drastically, like we're seeing right now, you're looking at the yearly, we're seeing that, hey, altcoins are down 60+%. Obviously, that is a way better time to buy than when people were buying in November and December at highs. People love buying into the FOMO. People love chasing those massive hypes, right? When you're seeing things pumping 50, 60, 80, 100, 200%, People love buying into those pumps. It feels good to buy into a pump because it feels this false sense of security. Like, yeah, we're pumping. We're in the bull market. We're just going to keep going higher. And people buy into that. I don't ever buy on the green days. I said it back then. I said it in October and November. I was like, I'm not buying. I'm not buying into the hype. I'm not buying. I don't buy green candles. We've dropped significantly since then. Am I willing to buy right now at this moment? Not yet. Now, why do I say that? Because I already dollar cost averaged, right? When we came down to around $80,000 Bitcoin, 81, 82 around there a few weeks back, I dollar cost averaged already, right? So now I'm not going to dollar cost average again because now I got to protect some capital. I got to be conservative. I got to be strategic. Yes, is it a good time to buy? If you haven't been buying, maybe it's the time to look for some opportunities out there. Not financial advice, not telling you to buy anything, but it's time to keep your eyes open. Now is the time to pay attention. People never pay attention on the red days. They never pay attention when the market is dumping. They only pay attention when the market is pumping, and they FOMO in to the pump. Now, let me talk a little bit more in depth. I've been in this for quite some time. Since 2017, I've seen a lot of ups. I've seen a lot of downs. Can it go lower? Yes. So prepare yourself. If you're dollar cost averaging now, or you're planning on to, that, hey, the possibility exists that Bitcoin drops to 67 and altcoins drop another 30, 40, 60%. That possibility exists. And you must prepare yourself for that. You must have capital on the side to continue dollar cost averaging. And that's hard to do. A lot of people don't know how to dollar cost average properly, and they run out of money very quickly. And then they're like, hey, how can I, you have the famous meme, right? Buy the dip. With what? With what? Well, it's because they don't know how to dollar cost average properly, right? If you're a long-term investor, you need to know that, hey, I make X amount of money a month. I have X amount of expenses a month. I have X amount of reserve cash that are going to go into savings and X amount of money that I'm going to be putting into my long-term portfolio for investments, right? Even if you have a savings. I personally don't have a savings account. Crypto is my savings account. I treat it like my 401k, like my retirement account. So that's a different story. Not everybody's the same. Nonetheless, whatever amount you decide you have extra to be investing, that's what you need to use to dollar cost average. If you don't have that, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, dollar to dollar, counting the pennies, don't be dollar cost averaging right now, because most likely we could drop a lot lower and you're not going to have money to buy. You're not going to have money to buy lower, right? So that's something you need to be aware of. You don't want to over leverage yourself. You don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck and putting every penny in right now because we're at the bottom. This is the bottom. There's going to be a lot of people trying to call for the bottom. There's going to be a lot of people calling for the bear market. There's going to be a lot of people calling that the bull market is still intact. I personally don't care about any of that. I'm a long-term investor. I've been here since 2017. I'll be here in 2037, right? In 2037, I'll still be here. So I'm in it for the long haul. That doesn't matter to me what the price is at in the short term, where things are going. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Right? I'm in it for the long haul. And I heavily focus on trading now more than long-term dollar cost averaging. Long-term dollar cost averaging I run two parallel portfolios, right? You have your long-term portfolio, you have your trading portfolio. When things are rocky, when things are, hey, could it drop lower? Can it go higher? I don't know. What do? If I don't feel confident to dollar cost average, I look at trade setups and I make cash flow that way, right? I make money off my trades, which then I can use to pay bills, and whatever I have left over, I can use that to dollar cost average, right? So I'm making my money make money for me so that I can continue buying into my portfolio. And that's the name of the game, right? Anything that you're in when it comes to investing is all about cash flow. How can you cash flow your investments, right? How can you make your investments make money for you? Yes, crypto is down right now. You can't make money off it pumping. So what do you have to do right now in these bear market times, right? Focus on trading. That's what I do. That's what the Crypto Citadel does. If you're not in there, definitely do so and join. You can get 50% off your first month right now using the promo code Citadel. Use 50% off your first month. Test it out. See if you like it. See my trade setups. See my signals. See my macro long-term investments, right? Not investments, but my long-term macro analysis for people that are long-term investors and are not traders. They are catered to in the group as well. You guys can check out my exclusive live streams in there. You can check out my exclusive trading sessions in there. Join in, follow my trades, do your thing. And learn trading, learn dollar cost averaging, ask questions, be part of the community. That's all very key, important stuff. Now, long term, nothing matters. Everything that matters is the day-to-day trades, what's happening, where's the support, where's the resistance. If you're dollar cost averaging, be aware we could be dropping lower. If we pump back up, fantastic, right? So, key number one thing to learn: when everybody's excited and everybody's greedy and everybody's buying and all the candles are green and everything's pumping, not the time to buy. When everything's red, everything's dumping, nobody wants to buy, everybody's scared, time to start looking. I'm not going to say it's time to start buying, because obviously I told you there could be dip on top of another dip on top of another dip on top of another dip, but it is the time to start looking for opportunities. Another thing you need to know: if this is the bear market, if we are entering a bear market, all the altcoins that exist right now are not going to make it to the next bull run, right? Arbitrum, Layer 2s, Matic, perfect example. Last bull market, amazing. Matic was an amazing performer last bull market. This time around, giant donkey, right? Giant donkey. It didn't do jack squat ding dong. That simple. It didn't do anything. So, perfect example of Matic. There will be other Matics in the future. There will be altcoins right now. Could it be Jupiter? Could it be Tau? Could it be Fetch AI? Right? Could it be DOT? Could it be Injective? Could it be Aptos? Could it be Gala? Could it be Theta? Right? Theta was a huge one last. Could it be Celestia? Right? Could it be all these different cryptos? Might not be here next time. So be very careful what you're dollar cost averaging into. Don't assume that every single altcoin that is here right now is going to somehow do a significant and massive rally like they did this time next time. All right, let me read some chat here. I think it is a better scenario than going parabolic in May or whatever. More potential for the upside if we trend sideways through the summer. Yes, Jacob, I do agree with that, right? Q4 of the year, usually pretty well, usually does well. We usually see a lot of sideways, potentially a little bit down in the summer, kind of very boring price action, right? There is a good chance that we get an interest rate cut, right? We know that the Trumpster, right? The orange man, Cheeto man, whatever you want to call him, he's out there pushing the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. Once we start seeing the interest rate cuts happen, I do think that would be some fuel for the fire to potentially have a little bit of a rally, to potentially get a little bit more bullish, right? Start turning the money printer back on. We do see institutions continuing to position themselves. They're still building, yada, yada, yada. So, yes, I do agree with you on that one, Jacob. Let me go over here and read a little bit more chat over here. What if rates are cut by power? Would it affect the market? What? Cut by Powell. You're talking about Powell. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, I think I just answered that. But yes, if rate cuts happen, that is bullish. Likelier, right? The quantitative tightening is closing out. Quantitative easing is kicking back in. We're getting closer and closer to that money printer. And yes, that would be bullish. And that could be happening into Q4 of this year, right? We don't know. Maybe hold back on saying all altcoins. There will be altcoins that continue to perform. Not really, right? If Bitcoin drops, every single altcoin drops. So, Dawson, I understand some people believe that some altcoins can continue to perform even though Bitcoin's not performing. We've never seen that in the past. If Bitcoin drops, altcoins drop. Every single altcoin drops. Bitcoin dominance is continuing to be on the rise. Bitcoin dominance is now at 63.44%. Right? It came up as high as basically almost 64, 63.9. Right? We came up as this high back in February 3rd, around 64.2. Bitcoin dominance continues climbing. That means that money is continuing to run into Bitcoin and away from altcoins. Bitcoin dominance climbs, altcoins will continue to feel pain. Bitcoin price drops. If Bitcoin price continues to drop, altcoins will continue to feel pain. There's no altcoins that are going to continue performing, right? Yes, I see here, obviously, you look on the yearly, you see the bubbles behind me or above me. You see them here. XRP still up 213%. Tron still up 89%. Mantra still up 800%. On the yearly, there's still some green, right? There's still some green on the yearly on some altcoins. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin is still up 12.7% on the year. Bitcoin is still up, right? Last year in September, right? September 2024, we were at 53,000. We're still sitting at 77. We're still above the 2024 yearly range, right? That is something you need to be aware of. Let me close out some of the stuff here, right? We look at these ranges. We are still, this is the 2024 range. The 2024 range starts, right? We re-enter it on the way down once we start dropping below 73.8. 73.8 and lower, we're inside the 2024 range. We're still above that. Therefore, some of these other altcoins are still above their 2024 highs. But as Bitcoin continues to drop, if we do see that, we will see those altcoins continue to melt, right? XRP, as an example, is sometimes used as this is different from everything else and yada, yada. It's not. Bitcoin dropped, altcoins dropped, XRP dropped. Here's XRP, right? XRP dropped over the weekend, just like everyone else. XRP came down to 161. Are we back up now? Yes. Bitcoin's also slightly back up. So it just goes to show you what Bitcoin does, altcoins do. Even XRP. XRP came all the way up, tapped the daily MPOC on the 4-hour, and now we're coming back down again, right? Because Bitcoin's coming back down again, right? As Bitcoin drops, altcoins drop. XRP is not, right? Bitcoin dropped all the way down to 74 and pumped all the way up to 81, right? From 74,000. Oh, damn. From 74, let me turn this magnet off. From 74,000 all the way up to 81,000, Bitcoin pumped 9.18% in a day, right? And now we're back down again, and Bitcoin is still in the red. So XRP did the same thing, dropped all the way down to 161, came up to basically 199, got rejected, and now we're dropping back down. If Bitcoin continues dropping, XRP has targets down at 146. XRP has down, a lot of people in the XRP community, right? Not gonna say names. You know who they are, the XRP creators. That it's only bullish, it's only bullish, it's only bullish, it's only bullish. They said we weren't gonna drop below $2. $2 was holding as massive support all the way since what was this? Since December of 2024, right? On December when we had that massive rally. Ever since then, we've been holding support. We've wicked through this area, but we've never closed below it. Guess what? Now we closed below it. Now we lost it, right? And we came back up here in the 4-hour. We retested it. We're getting rejected again. Do we get rejected on the daily? We will see, right? But now we are below that support zone. So now we got to find support again. We bounced off 171 because Bitcoin was rallying back up. Bitcoin continues to drop. Next targets are going to be 146. Targets below that, $1.12 to $1. Between $1.12 to $1 flat. Below that, 77 cents is a 6-month NPOC that's untapped. We have another 6-month NPOC down at 37 cents that is untapped. So not saying we're going to go to 37 cent XRP, but can we drop down to 146? Yeah, that's only a 22% drop. Can we drop down to $1 flat? Yeah, that's a 44% drop. 44% seems like it's impossible, But if Bitcoin drops down to 67 or lower from where we're at right now, just from where we're at to 67 is a 13.24% drop. When altcoins drop, they drop twice, double or triple the amount that Bitcoin drops. So if Bitcoin drops to 67, that's a 13% drop. Altcoins are going to be dropping 26 to 30 something to 26 to 40%, depending on which ones they are. That's gonna be hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. A lot of people don't want to hear that. Now, like I said, there's no guarantee that we go to 67. 67 has just become a likelier probability at this point in time that we've closed a weekly below 80,000. Once again, the big sand, line in the sand is 73.6. 73.7, 73.6, 73.8, whatever it is. Dropping below there or going to that level puts us right at the value area high of 2024. And if we enter that range, 67 becomes like 80% likely that we go to it. 80 to 90% likely that we go to it. So be very, very careful here. There's another low before we blow. What's so crazy? You called this a few weeks back. You said clearly all this would happen. GC coach, I appreciate it, right? I'm not in the business of calling things, but I was warning people that, hey, this is a possibility. If we close below these levels, if we drop below the Q1 range, if we drop below March, if we drop below 80, be very careful. We're going to be heading lower. And things are beginning to play out, unfortunately. I want things to go higher. I am a long-term investor, just like all of you guys. I want Bitcoin at 200K. I want ETH at 10K, right? I want us all printing money and making money in our long-term portfolios. But I understand that it doesn't work that way and that there will be moments where we pull back. There will be moments that is scary. There will be moments that we don't know what's going to happen. We just got to look at the data and make and analyze it the best we can and have the best game plans that we can come up with at the time so that we can react and be proactive to the market. That's all investing is. Game planning. You need to have a game plan to know what you're going to be doing in the markets. If scenario A plays out, I'm doing A, plan A. If scenario B plays out, I got plan B. If scenario C plays out, I got plan C, right? And you take the plans you act depending on what scenario is playing out, and you fill out these probabilities. That's what it's all about. That's what the Crypto Citadel is all about. The Crypto Citadel is about long-term investors and traders. Traders, they get to see all my trade setups on Bitcoin. They get to see the signals. They get to see the live trading sessions. The long-term investors, they get to see all the trading stuff, obviously, as well, but they're not interested in that. They get to see the macro exclusive daily updates or weekly updates that I post in there that are live, right? We're live. You ask questions. I answer questions. I give you all the breakdowns of all the altcoins of your choice. We game plan. I post macro analysis for targets to the downside and targets to the upside for people that are long-term investors. So they can have some type of data that tells them, hey, so they can come up with their game plans, right? Hey, if we come down to this level, then I'll dollar cost average. If we go back up to this level, I might take some profits. If we come down over here, I'll do X, Y, and Z, right? It's all about game planning. Wait, so XRP isn't going to 10K? You already know. So what you're saying is anything can happen. Absolutely. Anything can happen in the markets. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows 100% guaranteed what's going to happen. All we can do is analyze data and play out the scenarios. It's real life, guys. Just like when you're there's certain things I can't say. It's just like a real company. It's just like anything. All you can do is prepare for certain scenarios that you that you think are probable depending on the data you're getting in, right? If you're running a company, you're saying, well, in quarter 2 of this year or quarter 3 of this year, I expect this and this to happen because of the data that we've received from quarter 1 and quarter 2. This is what it's telling us. These are our projections here. If this happens, then we're going to reinvest this amount of money into the company. We're going to begin to expand. Hey, if that doesn't happen and we actually go below the projections and we actually fail because this was, this is the other scenario, and we get lower sales because this other information was telling us that there could be a probability that there's a pullback in sales for whatever reason. If that happens, then hey, we're not going to be investing $100K into the company. We're going to invest $25,000 into the company and have a smaller expansion of some kind, right? Or hey, we're going to have to pull back and, pivot here and start having a different game plan moving forward. It's the same thing in the markets. Where do you see SUI? Let's go take a look at SUI here. Let's go take a look at SUI. I know people don't like it when they say it like that, but I love it, so I will continue to do it. I'm looking at the wrong one. Looking at the wrong SUI. All right. So SUI has fallen out of the quarter 1 range, right? Has already tapped the quarter 4 MPLC of $2.01. We came down to the value area low of November. We found support on it at 177 and we bounced. If we continue heading lower, along with Bitcoin, everything continues to head lower, right? Assuming that is the play. What are the targets to the downside? Well, the next target to the downside, we're currently back at $2, but the target back down is once again 177. Below that is the value area low for quarter 4 of 2024, which sits at $1.60, right? $1.60 is our next target to the downside. If that area is lost, then we have the October and quarter 4 PIV between 145 and 136 for SUI that is untapped. Everything below that has been tapped except we have a target down at $1.03, which is a September NPOC that's untapped. We have the quarter 3 for 2024 that's also untapped at 83 cents. Right, but those are massive drops from where we're at right now. Dropping down to the value area low of quarter 4 of 2024 is already a 19, just round up, a 20% drop, right? Dropping to 160 is a 20% drop. Dropping to the targets of quarter 4 that are untapped between 145 and 136 is a 31% drop. If we were to drop to $1.03, that is a 48% drop. And if we drop to quarter 3 MPLC, that's an 82% drop. That's a 58% drop, sorry. Dropping down to 83 cents is a 58% drop from current price. From current price. That means that overall in the year, that is I'll measure that out for you right now, but from the tip-top paddywhack all the way down to the quarter 3 NPLC, that is a total 84.61% retracement from the highs, right? From the highs of this year. That's an 84% drop. And it happens. Altcoins do pull back that amount. It happens all the time. It happens in bear markets all the time. Can you check Pendle, please? Yes, I will definitely check Pendle. Like I said, not saying that we will. I'm just saying keep that in mind as we drop to those levels. Those will be the critical levels to whether you're going to dollar cost average or you're going to be looking to dollar cost average as we head lower. I haven't looked at Pendle in a while. Pendle was one that I'm very bullish on. I'm still holding Pendle. Pendle has been at these lows for some time already. Pendle came down on March 12 down to $1.77, ran it back up to about $3.28 at the beginning of April, and currently we're still sitting, actually holding up pretty well at $2.78, which is the quarter 3 range, right? We're back in the quarter 3 range of 2024, and we've had this major collapse in its price earlier last month on March 11th. Now we're on April 7th, and this drop did make it drop all the way down to about 238, but it has quickly recovered back up to 277. So it's still just kind of, hanging in there. Hasn't had any more major fluctuations because it is one of those that's already had a major drop. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this gold pocket, guys. like money. From the lows of March 11th to the highs of April 2nd, the gold pocket was sitting at 234. Where did Pendle come down to? 236. Front ran the gold pocket from completing the gold pocket retracement by literally 2 cents. By literally 2 cents. But TA doesn't work, right? TA doesn't work. Now, we have targets to the upside. We have one target up at $6.10. I haven't been updating this chart because Pendle is going to be a performer when Ethereum performs, right? Pendle is a DeFi play on Ethereum. If Ethereum pumps, Pendle will pump, right? And as more people jump into DeFi, when they feel like they're looking for APYs, they're looking for things to hold long term, they're definitely going to be, Pendle's going to be performing. And they could be seeing a little bit of that now, right? People could be using Pendle a little bit more. The DeFi players might be coming back a little bit more because they're seeing that, hey, we're not getting these massive rallies. I got to start looking for some APY. Mr. B, what you adding to hold? So things that I'm looking to hold, right, or adding to, obviously Bitcoin, obviously Ethereum. Outside of that, things that I'm looking to get into. A little bit of Solana. I got to be very careful with Solana, but a little bit of Solana below $97. I will be adding more Solana. Below 97. Not at 97 or higher. Below 97, I'll add more. Cardano, a little bit. A little bit of Cardano. I mean, very small amounts. Chainlink, at $11 or lower, I would be adding some more Chainlink. Avalanche, I would be adding more of. Sui, I would be interested in. Hedera, I would be interested in. Let's see here. What else? Dogecoin. Dogecoin below 10 cents. Very attractive for me. Very attractive for me below 10 cents. Let's see here. What else? Uniswap. I don't have the chart pulled up. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but Uniswap is definitely an interesting one, even though whether Solana performs or not, I mean, Ethereum performs or not, Uniswap always does decently well. Ondo, one that I'm definitely looking to get more of. Ondo is definitely one that I do believe is going to be around for the next bull market. Let's see here. BitTensor Tau, I got to be careful with it. I am interested in BitTensor Tau for sure. It is an AI play. Is AI going to continue being a hot narrative? I believe so at some point later in the future, right? NVIDIA having a massive rally all of 2024 definitely had a massive boost on the AI narrative in crypto. Will we see that again? Maybe at some point, and that would be interesting. But I got to be careful because it's a narrative play, right? It's a narrative play. It could be one of those cryptos that disappears and is not around. It's not relevant in the next bull market. In the next bull market, new AI coins can, in the next 6 to 12 months, new AI coins can come out that are way more relative and have a hotter narrative than BitTensor Tau. That's just the reality. Athena has had a major correction, down 73.7% on the year. Am I interested in it? Slightly, yes. Being very, very careful. It's had a massive retracement. But Athena is kind of like the Terra Luna, right? But of stable coins in the real world asset market, right? They're working with BlackRock. They're working with the Buildo Asset Fund. They're working with Ondo, I believe. And they pretty much back up their stable coins with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other assets. And they're in the real world asset sector, which is interesting. So being very, very careful with that. Outside of that, Algorand is one that I'll take a look at some lower levels here. Outside of that, in the top 100, got to be very, very careful on what I would be adding to. Probably not too much outside of that. Arrow was a falling knife. What's the bottom? Let's go take a look at Arrow. Aerodrome. So, Aerodrome here right now. Last time I talked about it, I said, hey, I'm looking at this target down here of 32 cents. We came down to it. We hit it. We fell through it. We're trying to get back above 32 cents. Aerodrome has been one that has had a major full collapse, right? It's dropped from its local highs on December 7th to where we're at right now, we are down 80. It's down 86% retracement, right? Full bear market retracement, right? 86% retracement. Are there targets to the upside? A ton. There's targets between 49 cents all the way up to 83 cents. And then above 83 cents, there's a target all the way up at 164 to 168. Are we going to hit those anytime soon? Probably not. Not until Bitcoin really starts to figure out what it's going to do. Now, a retracement of 84% sucks. That's a hard pill to swallow right now. But those coins that are down 80+%, if we are going to have another rally this year, if we're going to have another rally in the next 6 to 12 months, those are the ones that you want to be looking at. Not buying. I'm not telling you to buy Aerodrome. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just saying those are the ones you want to be looking at. You want to see the ones that have had the biggest suppression, the biggest retracements, because those are the ones that can have the slightest bounce back up is a massive move, right? So right now, Aerodrome is at 31. If Aerodrome pumps back to 81 cents, that's a 160% move, right? 160. If it pumps back to 60 cents, it's an 88% move. That's massive, right? Especially if you're a day trader or just a trader in general. That's massive. Aave. Let's go take a look at Aave. Aave. All right, so Aave here has had major retracement, falling back down below. We are headed into 2024. Let's see. Let me look at the 2024 range. Almost got it. Almost got it. Boom. Got it. All right. Cool. So look. Quick and easy. Quick and easy. Let me clean this up. We have fallen below 153. We have entered the 2024 range for Aave. The NPLC for this range, the naked point of control, is sitting down at $84. That's a hard pill to swallow right now. This is a yearly 24 NPLC sitting down at $84. Let's go take a look at some quarterly targets. No quarterly targets untapped up there. We do have a quarterly untapped to the upside of 229. 229. Now let's look at some monthlies. See if we have any monthlies to the downside. We do not have any monthlies to the downside. Let's go take a look at some yearlies, actually. We don't have any yearlies untapped. Let's look at some weeklies. We have a weekly untapped to the upside of 142. Untapped weekly average. 142. We have another one up here at 173. Let's look to the downside, see if we have any that are left untapped to the downside. We do. We have one right here at 106. So right now, what am I looking at? Real simple, guys. We have a target up at 142, weekly untapped target for Aave. We can run up, hit that, right? But meanwhile, we stay below 153, 155. We're still within that yearly range. And below that, our targets are 106. And below 106, it's $84 for Aave. Bing, bam, boom. My average on Aerodrome is 77 cents. Well, if you plan on holding it, you're going to probably have the dollar cost average, man. You're going to have the dollar cost average. That's how bear markets work. If you don't take profits in the bull market, you're going to have the dollar cost average in the bear market. Clay the Great says this may be the reversal. Yeah, it might be. How high do you think Aave can go? I'm very bullish on Aave long term. You know, it's one of those things that performs very well along with Ethereum. A lot, you know, it ran from freaking August of 24, or even last time we were at 130 bucks was November of 24, and from November to the beginning of December, we ran it all the way up to 389. So it literally went up 212% in about 42 days. 200% in 42 days. Now it's retraced all the way back down. It's given up all those gains. That happens. That's why you got to take profits. I already took a look at Pendo. Guys, if you like all this type of macro long-term analysis, I urge you guys to join the Crypto Citadel. There's a link in my bio, link in my profile, wherever you're watching. Go to the Crypto Citadel, get access, use the promo code Citadel to get 50% off your first month. It doesn't matter you're not a trader. I do macro long-term analysis that is posted there with all the data for you for all time. You guys can look through that historically. You can look at all the new data that comes out every week, every month, every quarter, right? For the macro stuff. We do exclusive updates in the Citadel live where you can ask me direct questions. We can game plan. We can do all these things in there for the macro investors. If you're a day trader or you want to start getting into some trading, but you don't know where to get started, I do signals. I do trade signals. I do trade setups. I do live trading sessions where you can follow me and watch me trading live in there just with you guys, and you guys can follow along or just ask questions and learn. So definitely join the Crypto Citadel, and it's all there. The group literally pays for yourself, especially if you're a day trader or you take the trades in my signals and stuff like that. You literally the group pays for itself. Let's see here. Also, the tariffs will be applied tomorrow, so we might be more dumping. Yeah. This whole tariff thing, every time a tariff gets applied, every time some more tariff stuff comes out, we're going to see some pain in the market until the market gets numb to it, until the market gets over it, and then eventually we're going to bottom out and start rolling back up. But when that's going to happen, nobody knows. Guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys in here watching, hitting those likes, hitting that subscribe. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day. Join the Crypto Citadel. You won't regret it, and test it out. You got to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself to get the best information possible so you can game plan and come up with the best game plans possible for yourself. And that money will multiply itself if you are game planning. If you're game planning, you're going to be able to be a better investor, better trader, better overall. If you don't have a game plan, you're just going to be getting wrecked. You're just going to be reacting and not knowing what to do, right? I woke up today and I was like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's at 74. Bitcoin has 74, no big deal, right? Because I knew that those were the levels that we were going to. So guys, join the Crypto Citadel. I'll see you guys all in there. The link is down below or in the profile. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains. Until next time, see ya.